Businesswoman Show. I'm your host, Virginia Parsons, and I'm thrilled to introduce you to my special guest, Serena Curran, today. And you know what we're going to be discussing? How to amplify your wealth using easy, soulful tools to evolve and prosper. So great to have you all here today. I'm really looking forward to this topic, and I know you will enjoy it as well. You know, I really want to thank you for being here because I know that your time is valuable, but I am dedicated to bringing you a gold mine of information from inspirational businesswomen in the know, and we're going to get that today with Serena. Absolutely. Now, before we get started, I want to play the preview trailer. And while I do that, we would just love it if you would help us out and share. Let other people know that you're watching this and invite them on over to join us. And once we go through the preview trailer, we'll be getting started with the interview right after that. All right, you can see we're in for a real treat today. Now, before we get started, I want to let you know that today's show is sponsored by hangout-marketing.com, where you can take a complimentary Shine Online assessment. Now, this assessment will only take you a couple moments, and it's going to go over the different things that you need in order to be able to broadcast and get your word out using live stream video. So go ahead and take that assessment by texting pound success to 775-800-4179. And if you're out of the country, you can simply go to hangout-marketing.com. And once you take that assessment, you might even qualify for a complimentary Shine Online session with me. So it'll be well worth your time to jump in and learn all about that. Now, let's get started introducing you to Serena. I'm so excited to have her here today because she's a special lady. She is a spiritual business mentor. That's right. And she is has a background as a soul liaison. I'll ask her what that really means. A healer, a teacher, and an Akashic Record Channel. Whoa, lots of goodies here. And she also has 25 years of global experience. She has led and inspired hundreds of women to safely take courageous leaps while unlocking more impact and income than they ever dreamed possible. Now, drawing from her own experiences of jumping and following her soul into adventure, Serena is going to leave you with an uplifted sense of what is possible for you and the importance of your contribution and a clear process you can use to accelerate your growth. Oh, I'm so excited about this. Now, we're going to be discussing, as we said, how to amplify your wealth using easy, soulful tools to evolve and to prosper. And Serena's going to share how alignment leads to wealth and then an easy first step to align with your soul. And finally, we're going to go over a guided process to remedy any kind of self-sabotage. So Serena, welcome. Come on in and say hi to our audience, won't you?
Good morning, Virginia. So lovely to be here with you and spend some time with you and your audience. Thank you
Well,
for having me.
I love having you. You know that. We've gotten to know each other a little bit over the past month or so, and I'm very excited to bring this information to our audience because I think the topic of wealth and wealth generation and prosperity is always of interest to people because there seem to be so many roadblocks, both, personal, inward, and exterior, that need to be addressed by so many people. So before we get into that, because I know they want to know all about the steps you're going to share, I always love for my audience to hear from you how you evolved yourself into all the things that you're doing, into, reading Akashic records. I mean, some people may not even know what that is. How you became the soulful spiritual mentor, the business mentor that you are, and, any sort of defining moments in your own life that moved you into this place of being right now. Because I know it's been, what you said, 23 years or so on this path.
Yeah.
How can we condense that for people?
Well, I mean, the story of how it all began, I mean, I'll start with, first of all, I have a master's in chemistry and was a scientist, did medical research, and I also have an MBA and was a marketing manager before I discovered that my real true calling, my soul was calling me to do healing work and to guide other women to to evolve themselves and expand their businesses so they had greater impact. And it really all began with living in Boston. I was recently divorced. I had lost my job after that. Nothing like the universe setting you free. And I was living at my home when I had 3 children, and I had invited my sister to come visit me. I felt inspired to invite her to come visit me. And she was standing on my kitchen on a Monday morning drinking a cup of tea. And she turned to me and she said, "You can go while I am here." And I'm like, it sounded like that field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. You can go while I'm here. And I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. What are you talking about? I have a house, 3 kids. I'm about to start a business. This is not a time for me to be going places. And she said to me, and I said, I don't even know where I would go. And she said, well, off the top of your head, where would you go? And out of my mouth comes Europe. Now, I had never said I wanted to go to Europe ever in my life. And as it turned out, there's more to the story. I want to give you the shorter version of it. Is when I got up the next morning, I knew I was going to go. And this was an opportunity. This is one of those synchronicities that come in front of you. And these are the times when you get to say yes or no, because I said yes. I was gone within 10 days. I put a pack on my back. I flew to Scotland because I like fairy godmothers. And I began a journey. And I went to Findhorn, and I circle danced at Findhorn on summer solstice. I did not plan that. It happened. And so I did not know how long I was going to travel for or where I was going to travel. And I wound up backpacking through Europe for 3 months. And I traveled through, I think, 12 countries. And at the end of that time, I knew that I was going to go live in Europe. Now, I want to point out that if you had told me that in June, I would have told you were stark raving crazy. And here I am in September. I'm gonna go live in Europe. Right? That's what they're called. I'm being called. So it's that other synchronicity. It's like one synchronicity opens and you say yes, another one can open. So this was the bigger one. So this was the preparation, I would say. But so basically I went home and I spoke to my ex-husband and had my children move out. And over a 9-month period, I sold my house, all the things I had, left my community, and went back to live in Europe, not knowing what country I was going to live in. I could not find out no matter what I tried, or having any contacts. I only knew I was to travel on the Swiss, German, Austrian border. When I crossed into Austria, I knew that's where I was going to be. Meanwhile, I had dreamed I was a healer and had taken 3 weekends of training. And so here I am in Austria. I know I'm supposed to do healing work. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm doing. And so this was the beginning of this journey of being a healer and, being a spiritual business mentor. And I went on over the years to travel to many places, coming back and forth between the United States and Europe. When I left Austria, I went to Hawaii, believe it or not. And I created businesses all along the way. So I've been a serial entrepreneur. So this is where all of the experiences that come that help me to guide my clients.
My goodness. Oh, but it's a great story. And it also just opens your mind to the possibilities. You know,
Right.
we started talking about what are the possibilities for you when you align with your inner soul's guidance. And you just did. And you know, your sister was the catalyst. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, she said the
She
words.
opened it. Yeah.
But the opening was I invited her to come.
Okay.
And you know, so but nonetheless, it illustrates here a lot of things. One, I always could say no at any point to any of this. But because I said yes to that first thing, it completely changed my life.
Yeah.
I would still be back in Boston for all I know.
Yeah.
Whereas I've traveled everywhere. I've lived in Paris and I've, you know, had adventures beyond amazement because of aligning with and listening to my soul. So that's why I'm here to guide other people to do it, because I know the magic and the miracles that can happen when you do.
Oh, and I could absolutely just see the sparkle in your eyes. I mean, you light up when you talk about this story because it was so profound. It was such a big shift for you. And as you say, you opened yourself up to say yes to the possibilities. And off you went, not even knowing where you were going and who you would meet there and what you would be doing. So what a great adventure.
Right. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done, to leave my children, my community, to leave everything behind. It really was the hardest thing I've ever done. But I was feeling that strong pull of that these were the next steps for me.
Yeah, well, I can feel the energy behind that. So thank you for sharing that story. And listen, everyone, if you hear what I would call a gem, a gold nugget or a gem, go ahead and type in the comment section, #gem, and let us know what you heard that really resonated with you. I mean, I just think this one is saying yes to the possibility and listening to your soul is a beautiful gem. So put down what you find as Serena shares with you some of the information she's going to today. So let's get into the first topic, which is how does alignment lead to wealth?
Well, we've just illustrated the first one, the unexpected, the synchronicities, the unexpected events that happen and the miracles that come to you. But when you open, there's like a channel that runs through the center of your being that connects you with source. And so when you're aligning with your soul, when you're harmonizing, I call it harmonizing because it's all, besides aligning, it's harmonizing all of your parts of your being with your soul. You step into that channel of source energy or creative energy. And this is also your money channel, because money comes from source. Money does not come from other people. It comes from source. And I have many stories that I could share about that as well. But I just want to point out that when you get in that channel, also, this is the area where you're in the flow and manifesting is easy. Now, you always manifest, but if you're outside that channel, it's really harder to do so. And it's harder to have what you want. So the more you align with your soul, the more potential there are, the more opportunities there are, the more inspiration there is. And what I've also experienced is as you expand that, because there are layers of it, of course, as you expand that, you are able to see more possibilities in front of you. It's just like magic. It shows up. And this is true sovereignty and being able to when you align with your soul, again, having true sovereignty and making decisions. And in this world we're living in, where there's so much chaos and so many untruths being told, it's so very important to be able to connect in and find your way forward that way.
Well, I really appreciate your saying this, because one of the big points you just made, which you just sort of flew over, but you made a very profound point, and that is that money doesn't come from people, it comes from source.
Right.
I mean, that's a rethink for a lot of people.
Yes.
Because we think about the exchange that happens between people as the source, and yet the source is deeper. And you're talking about the importance of harmonizing and aligning yourself with that source. I'm getting so that you can be guided
Right.
to the best ways to attract wealth to you. And new opportunities will open up for you because you're more harmonized in alignment. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes, that's absolutely the truth. And yes, it is a new thought for some people that money comes from source, because it looks like it comes from other people, but it just comes through them. And money is in a flow. So it comes through one person, it comes to you, and you flow it on to other people. It's meant to move and flow. And yeah.
So it's an exchange process or a
Yes.
transference process. I really like thinking of it this way. So tell me a little bit before we go on, because I think we can explore this a little deeper. How does one know when they're in alignment or harmonized? Are there some simple steps or awareness tools that people can use in order to know that they're aligned?
Well, I think, it's just about feeling what the simplest way is, how is your life going? And, and how
You're making it way too easy.
Well, I'm all about making things as simple as
Okay,
possible.
right.
I mean, how is your life going, and how does your life feel to you? And is it flowing, or and let me be very clear, as you evolve and grow, you always meet challenges. That's part of the growth process. So I'm not saying that life is always hunky-dory, because it isn't. That we have challenges and we have ups and downs and things that we need to address. But if you look at it sort of on a macro level, shall we say, is your life moving forward in a direction that you want it to move in? Are you listening? Are you hearing guidance? Are you taking the time to listen and to, so you can check in with yourself. Do I ever stop and ask, oh, is this the right direction? Do I ever stop and consciously connect with with source and ask, is this the right direction, or is there a better direction? And I just was this morning, heard someone say something I thought was really cool. How can it get better than this? A great question just to be asking all through the day. How can it get better than this? And listening for, how can it get better than this? Or noticing the synchronicities around you. Like I said, if I didn't get that sense that my sister should come, and I didn't follow up on that, it already stopped. So it's even those small little inklings there's some action that you need to take, is really stop and respond to that, decide, be conscious in your decision about it.
Yeah, I always think of it as when you're getting connected, does it feel like you're trying to swim upstream or are you flowing downstream, which means that there's more ease with it, meaning that you're probably in better alignment. If you feel like you're constantly struggling that upstream current, then maybe there's an adjustment that's needed, and maybe that's the time to tune in, because so often as entrepreneurs, and we're talking to lots of inspirational business women, they follow the advice of some so-called guru that tells them this is exactly the steps you need to take, and for them it feels that it's just a burden. And it's not to say that you don't get good advice, it's that maybe it's not the best advice for you. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm totally in alignment with that, of course. I didn't mention here that I do also read the Akashic Records for my clients. First of all, being an entrepreneur is a spiritual process. It's a spiritual journey, because to grow your business, you have to grow yourself.
Yes, for sure.
And so it is a spiritual journey. I want to just say that first of all, but I do read the records as well. And so we come here with certain soul gifts. First of all, the Akashic Records are an energetic record of everything that ever happened to your soul.
Okay.
And
I wanted you to explain that.
Yeah. And every soul, all the souls are in there. So it's this massive energetic informational field. Some people think of it as a library, but it's much more beyond that. It's a place of great love and compassion. And when you connect with those records, you feel you get that sense of it. And so I do look in there and look at people's souls. And so you come here with certain gifts that you're here to express. And one of the other things I do is I look and see what might be interfering, because as your soul has traveled, the vehicle has made some decisions that were not in alignment with your highest good. and they can create some patterns and some other things that are interfering with your expression of your soul. And it can be things from this current life as well, from decisions you make in this current life. And when those are removed, it really does free people up to, it puts their life on a new trajectory, just like that.
Yeah.
So coming back to the fact that every soul has its own way of manifesting, it has its own gifts to be explored and expressed, and its own way of doing that. So this idea that you should, or that it is a good idea to just follow some plan is not correct. It's just not correct. I mean, we're all individuals, and the most important thing you're here to do is express your soul, and that's to express your unique, who you are as an individual, because you're a cosmic being that came here with a gift to express, to help the whole mosaic be formed. And without your piece, that it's just not all complete. So no, there's no one way to do anything. There's your way. And that's
I love that. That's a gem. It's your way. You just have to be in alignment so that you can really connect with that way. And then, as you say, be here to express yourself, your soul, in a way that, sort of fills the pieces of the puzzle for the whole, as you're talking about it.
Yes,
I love
exactly.
That.
Good. Yeah, you're so good at doing those little summaries, Jenny. I love it.
Oh, no problem. It's fun for me because that also helps other people just, reinforce an idea that I think is really powerful. So let's go into an easy but essential first step to align, because that's what people want to know. Well, how do I align with my soul? I mean, I think I'm aligning every day, but maybe I'm not. So what's that first step?
Well, things don't go well when you're not aligned. So anyway, the first step is you got to slow down. I mean, everybody's racing around doing things and going at a very fast pace. You need to slow down, because you need to be able to be present. It's only in this present moment that you can receive the words, the energetics that are coming to you, the messages that are coming to you from your guides and your teachers and from source. And so if you're not present, then you're going to miss them. So you have to give yourself space and give yourself that pause and that time to really allow yourself to be present. So I call that your point of power, where you're present. So if you're spending all your time thinking about what happened to you in the past, or planning out the future. Now, we do have to have intentions and plans for the future, but we really want to stay here in this present moment. And this is when your best idea forward will be shown to you. And this is another place, like I'm all about wanting, let's have a joyful experience here on the planet. And saying yes to the now is how you have joy. The enemy of joy is wanting to be in control of everything. And let me tell you, I've been a controller, so I know what I'm talking about here. And I'll just add something here. I read a thing about neuroscience, and the neuroscience says that if you'll sit down for 10 to 30 minutes with your eyes open and just sit and do nothing, no thinking, no nothing, you will be more productive afterwards. You'll learn more quickly, and you'll tap into your creativity. So not only is it true from a spiritual perspective, but the neuroscience is also saying that this is the truth. So stop. Just stop. Make a point every day to stop for a period of time, at least once a day, and just be present so that you can receive.
I really believe in that myself, and have to remind myself to go into stillness on a regular basis. And I think it's interesting that you say go into stillness with your eyes open, because of course there's a million distractions with your eyes open. So I would have to have what I would call a soft gaze in order to do that. So it wasn't really focused. Now, I know also they have you focus on like a candle burning, because it draws you into just being present with that experience. Yeah. One of the most powerful ways for me that I have used and had profound guidance from is taking my Zen walks. Yeah. Now, so often people take walks and they're out there to get their steps in, and I do that too. But I think that that's not the kind of walk we're talking about. I'm talking about a Zen walk where I just walk slowly and experience the environment around me and become part of that environment so that I still the brain. In other words, I'm just being, is what I call it when I am walking through the environment and just letting it all kind of embrace me. And when that happens, I just get information I wasn't looking for, I wasn't asking for, because part of, for me, the foundation of a Zen walk, as I call it, is I don't want to be thinking of anything. I just want to be experiencing the moment. And so I had one experience like this that was very profound and really inspired me to end up selling where we lived and going on the road full time, so that we're now full-time RVers and still running our business. And I never thought of that. I mean,
Exactly.
It's like, where did this information come from? But as soon as it came, everything, just like you're talking about, flowed into place. The place was sold. I sold it furnished, so I didn't have to sell furniture. I mean, everything about it flowed in a matter of weeks. And I really, at first, was a bit put back by this very strong message that came to me that said, sell your home. So I get that going into that stillness, calming the mind, slowing down is a very important piece of alignment. Now, is there anything else that goes along with that that you didn't share yet?
Well, I have a whole program that helps people to do that. So,
all right. Well, we won't give it all away here.
I used to teach something called a haiku walk, which was you go out to take a walk and you're going to write a haiku poem, and that is look at the colors, listen to the breeze. That's what haiku is all about. If you don't know haiku poetry, it's just the experiences. So I tend to sit in the garden and look at the leaves and listen to the wind, or you can listen to the birds, all of those things. So I think you're right on, Jenny. That's such a powerful, your Zen walks are really powerful.
Yeah, I love them. But it's all about the basics of what you're saying is slow down.
That's the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's beginning.
I always say take a few deep breaths.
Yeah. Well, then there's allowing your feelings, and there's all these, there's all of these other things about the stories. And as I said, this is a whole program that I teach on how to align with your soul.
Oh, love it. Well, we'll give them a chance to find out more about that.
Yeah.
So let's go into the last segment, which is a guided process to, how did you say it? To remedy self-sabotage.
Well, let me start out with, first of all, I deplore the title self-sabotage, because that is not what is happening. And when we say self-sabotage, what we are saying is I'm blaming myself. I did something wrong. I'm going to feel guilty about this. I'm going to judge myself. I'm recriminating myself. This causes contraction in your energy. But the truth of the matter is, it is not self-sabotage. It is self-preservation. It is your body, your being saying to you, we've come here to a challenge we can't handle right now. My body can't handle this. I need to stop here and have some compassion for myself and really feel what's going on with me and let those emotions process. Instead of saying, oh, I'm self-sabotaging and I need to just break through and go to the next level. That's not loving and kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And it's not supportive of yourself, and it does not expand your energy. So I first of all let's reframe self-sabotage into self-protection, that your being is expressing to you, I need some help here. In order to be able to do what you want to do, we need to get in harmony. See, harmonizing, that's part of the process of aligning with yourself, is we need to get in harmony here. So I will share a process with you, which is very simple. Again, I love those simple processes. And that is that when you have that experience that you're not able to move forward for whatever reason, to be able to stop and just feel in your body, where do I feel that in my body? And sometimes in the beginning, it's hard for you to feel where in the body it is, but just keep practicing until you feel in the body where it is. And then you go into that area and you ask that part of your body, what is the emotion that's here? What is the feeling that's here? And listen for the word that it's going to give you. And maybe it'll say fear. Let's say it says fear, or let's say it says rage, or let's say it says anger, because it's probably easier, a little easier. There's more nuances of anger.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you just ask, is that the right word? Anger, or is it rage? Can I define it more clearly as to what it is? And so once you have that name of that thing, you begin a dialogue with it. What is it you need? What is going on? And you dialogue with that part of yourself. And as you do that, it's processing so that you now become free from it. So that's a simple process that you can use when you come up against something that's asking for your attention and asking you to say, please, would you please pay attention to me? I need you to nurture and support me right now.
Yeah.
And so that's it.
I really like that process, and I've used that myself many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you're right. The key to that one is to attune and go inward and notice what's going on in your body energetically,
Right.
and where it's the most pronounced, because we can feel things in different parts of our body.
Right.
But as you were explaining that to me right now and hearing it from your perspective, I could just feel my heart opening. I mean, that was where I went in my body. That was just making itself aware to me that that's a place to pay attention to. So I think that people will find this really helpful if you just don't worry about getting it perfect, but if you just go in and feel or notice, I guess it's not notice where you're feeling something. Where is it located? And then how does it feel? You know, how to describe it. And then you could turn that into an emotion you could put a tag or a label on. But I think more importantly, what you're bringing up is the idea of having compassion for that experience in your body and nurturing that in a way that will help release it or diminish it in some way so that it doesn't feel so overwhelming or get in the way, so to speak. Is that what you're after?
Yes. I mean, first of all, I think that there's so much out there that's about not honoring ourselves and not really, we're delicate beings. We're amazing. Our bodies are incredible miracles themselves, walking miracles. And so just having more concern, more tenderness towards ourselves and supporting ourselves more. You know, sometimes we go looking for support outside of ourselves, but are we really supporting ourselves by being kind to ourselves and being compassionate with ourselves? And so this is another part of what I create in my environments is this compassionate and safe space. You've got to feel safe before you can do anything. And if you're not safe with yourself because you're not being kind to yourself, well, then you kind of got to stop until you feel safe with yourself. And I will add one other thing is that I also sometimes teach people to journal on their emotion. And if you journal and you describe it with all five senses, what it smells like, tastes like, looks like, color, all that stuff, it helps it to transform too. So again, all of these kinds of processes are for you to explore and see how they work for you.
Yeah. And, one of my favorite things, and you had mentioned it before, the joyfulness of saying yes to the now or yes into the presence and finding the joy within. It seems to me this is a way to transform the energy that might be holding you back, making you feel stuck or resistant, so that you can get back into that space of safety, as you said, and the underlying joy and peace of being aligned. And I think that we don't pay enough attention to this because there's so much distraction out there. constantly, or so many feelings of I should be doing this, or I better hurry up and get this done. And I think that this is a real challenge for entrepreneurs in general, especially soulpreneurs who are trying to do so much on their own. So I really love this message, and I hope all you are loving it too. I can't wait to see your gems, and listen, anything you comment on, we'll be getting back to you, and any questions that you have for Serena, we'll make sure that she answers them for you. We so appreciate your taking the time to be here with us, and I hope you're getting great value from it. I know I am. So Serena, you have a gift, right? You have a terrific
absolutely.
gift.
Sure.
Let me pull it up for people so they know where to get it. And then we're going to let you tell them all about it. But here's Serena's gift. You can go pick it up at shinetips.com/Serena gift. And Serena, let them know, what are they in store for? Because I know it's a beauty, and it really relates to what we've been talking about, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So it's a little mini course, and I keep everything simple and short. So no worries. These are 10 or 15 minute videos. I don't go on for an hour. Time is so valuable. We just need to get the message clear and out there. So the name of it is Gateway to Wealth. It's a 3-fold video guide to prospering through soul alignment. And so we're going to talk about the importance of soul alignment and growing your entrepreneurial business, because as I said, it's actually a spiritual journey, and how harmonizing with your soul and your business is so very important, and about synchronicities and inspired action. And you're going to come away with a much more fuller understanding of how soul alignment can really help you rebirth yourself into a more evolved version of yourself. And obviously, when you evolve yourself and you expand your energy, like I said before, you have more opportunities that you can see in front of you, and that creates greater wealth. And by the way, wealth is money plus pleasure, money plus joy, money plus well-being, money plus freedom. It's a whole, full, holistic experience. It's not just one thing. And I've also attached to this a Telegram group so that we can dialogue about the information in this transformation that's in this little video series, so that I can answer your questions and hear your comments, because I always want to connect with you on a soul-to-soul level, for sure.
Yeah, I just love it. And again, go to shinetips.com/Serena gift. You'll also find the link in the comments if you are at a place like that has the comments, because this is broadcasting across multiple platforms. We're so happy to have you here, Serena. And I before we head out, I always you've just said so much, and I know there's so much more in the course, and so much more that people can gain from connecting with you and, going further in your work. I would just love, before we close, sort of one final, wrap it up in a beautiful bow kind of comment from you. It's sort of like, take this home if you take nothing else home. Here's my ultimate message for you. What would that be?
You are a one-of-a-kind cosmic being, and you came here to create the world, this new world that we are now in the process of birthing, and your part in it is incredibly important. So the fullness of your expression is needed at this time.
I love that. Thank you so much. And you're really honoring everyone by helping them understand that the fullness of their expression is very, very important. So they need to go ahead and discover what that is for them. And I know your gift is going to be one of the things that helps them along the way. So again, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you, and looking forward to other deeper conversations with you in the future.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Jenny.
And thank you everyone for being here. If you found this information valuable, please help spread the word and help make a bigger impact with other people as well. And we'll see you all on the next Inspirational Businesswoman Show. Bye-bye now.
Thanks so much for watching today. Do you know someone who would be a great guest for our show? Or would you like to be a guest on the Inspirational Businesswoman Show? Let's shine the spotlight on your expertise. We'll share your story while offering tips, strategies, and advice to our viewers. Expert interviews are a great way to build your reputation as the go-to expert. Go to shinetips.com/IBWS to apply today. Women are waiting for your message, and I can't wait to interview you.